Have you ever thought about what it means to yield? Like as in acquiesce, humble yourself? Well, the origins of the Protestant colonial conquest in America are rooted in the export of yield via the Puritan exiles, also known as the strangers, who are all part of Calvin's Reformed Protestantism, which Calvin created in southwest France in the mid-1500s, adjacent to French Basque. So, these were not ordinary Englishmen. They were outside both the Anglican and Catholic orders of England, and many of them being descendants of Iberian blood. They were swarthy, dark-skinned, and they practiced unusual rituals. Therefore, the native English labeled them separatists, radicals, dissenters, and that didn't bother them because they were hardened by over a century of exile. More importantly, they opposed England's 1,000-year-old economic system, which is guild-based, location-regulated, and collectively managed. The Reformed Calvinists rejected all of that. Their faith, it was not theological, it was economic. A new model of land, labor, and loyalty, rooted in strict accounting, fencing, exclusion, and very importantly, obedience, or yield. The Puritan movement erupted in blood. You have the English Civil War, the execution of Charles I. Back in France, under the Huguenot label, you have the French Wars of Religion. And finally, you have Oliver Cromwell with his 50,000-man New Model Army. England never had more than 8,000 prior to that. So what is this all about? This Protestant logic was formalized in 1717 when the House of Hanover took the throne. Nearly every colonial enterprise not found by the Anglican or Catholic patronage, such as Virginia and Louisiana, was governed by this Calvinist trust logic. Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Haven, Plymouth, Rhode Island, and much of Pennsylvania, New York, and even the Midwest, they all bore the imprint of the Puritan covenant. Land was not truly land unless surveyed, fenced, titled, improved, and yielding to God's elect. Yield equals righteousness. That is the true north of the Calvinist economic morality. Not charity, not beauty, not harmony. Maximum productive yield through ordered, fenced, titled, improved land is proof of being chosen. But yield also means submission. To yield is to submit to divine hierarchy, to the covenantal order, to rule by God's chosen trustees. Yield is not just production, it is acquiescence, a bending, a giving way. In Calvinist theology, to yield is to obey. The covenant premise: God has chosen the elect. The elect must subdue and manage the land. Yield confirms this election. Idleness is spiritual failure. Rebellion is desecration. A man may work the land, but if he doesn't hold the title, doesn't perform the surveying, and cannot improve the estate, he is a bond servant to the trustee class. He is useful, but he is not the elect. John Knox, the Presbyterian founder, praises the magistrates whose rule stems not from birth, but from visible providence of abundance and order and yield. Obedience to these magistrates is part of the covenant. The moral order must be visible in fences, in ledgers, in deference. The Calvinists see surveying as temple work. The land is the new temple. The surveyor is the Levite priest. The compass and chain are his sacred instruments. Surveying performs the following: it cleanses the land of disorder. It marks the sacred boundaries. It sets up tithing by measurement. And it sets up allocation of trust parcels to the modern tribes, the gentry, the investors, the Protestant trustees. This is Joshua's map work reenacted in Ulster, the Carolinas, the Cape Colony, and the Ohio River Valley. The surveyor is the Levite. The fence is the Talmudic boundary law. The map is the Torah. The yield is Yahweh's signature and your submission. Improvement is like a burnt offering. The non-elect, they are the Gentile residue to be fenced out. This isn't metaphor. It's the moral infrastructure of settler conquest, wrapped in theology, enforced by paper, and sealed by the sword. Handsome history out. So if you enjoy this insight, subscribe for $2.99 to get more deep dives like this on a weekly basis. Handsome history out.